Hey there, beloved Ascension Pioneers, and welcome to this special edition video with me. So, as you know, and I recently shared that there's a great shift happening on the planet at this time. And I made a new Earth grid, which you can see on my Alvin art blog, which is a very strong visual that we can hold at this time. Of course, you can also ask Spirit and your soul to show you that own image of the new Earth. Because what's happening at this time, it's almost like this cosmic convergence when there's a great shifting of timelines, and as many of us can contribute to that process, being more naturally anchored on this planet with our conscious awareness and of course the practice that our spirit that can show us is that we really are needed at this time. So what took place is yesterday, as I was shuffling through my cards, I had 3 different oracles bringing me the same message, and they all showed a being who sits in a circle made out of natural elements and the items that we consecrate as special and sacred that actually help to bring and activate this earthly energy of seeding this energy of really being in that circle. So sitting with our spirit, but what takes place then is this emanation of the golden light reaching the cosmic heart of our universe and then bringing that back forth through the crystalline core vibration and the frequency that we attune to when we tune into that new grid. And this is all visually implanted in this new Earth grid that I created in my art. So all of my art is sourced. It's the vision that Source shows me that it's really important, and that's all it's based on. It's based on these codes and divine love. It's not based on any sort of propaganda or such. So I'm sitting in one of such circles right now because the moment that I received that, I was also guided to share it with my community. And right now, as I was going into sacred nature space, Spirit said, okay, but then also share this message for those who are watching on YouTube and those who can contribute if they're also guided. Because what Spirit said is that it's really important that we all contribute to this process, because it's not just something that happens and we're not have to do anything, like we don't have to move a single finger. It means that we're the conscious participants, and the more spiritual practices we engage in, especially outdoors in nature, because nature is where there's more energy, where everything is alive, where all the elements meet and come together as one. So I created this circle, and I'll show you towards the end of the video how my circle looks like. And I've put all the stones from the main mountain vortices where I went in my summer escapades. And I have a few of the mandala stones building a sacred cross formation. I also have a few of the stones and shells that people sent me, that some people in the community were guided to send me, so that there's a frequency of other continents and of other regions as well, so that this represents us doing this collectively, that we're connected no matter where we are and where we sit with our presence, regardless of the time and space when we do it. So when I would like to invite you to join the sacred circle, and it's very important that you find a location in nature, preferably that really feels like it has the most sacredness, it has the most activity of the portal nature. So what Spirit shares with me is always that the place that you recognize is very beautiful, you know, physically beautiful. Very physically appealing is also a place where there's portal energy there, because as above, so below. So you might feel a special energy there, and the natural elements just guide you to sit there. And it's really important that what we do is we bring the energy, because stones are just energy transmitters and any other particles of nature, but it's how we put them. It's the consciousness, the love that we put them in. We touch them with our fingers, and you know, our fingers through our hands are directly connected with our heart space, or cosmic heart chakra. And then what takes place is then we bring that love there, we make the sacred intent, and it's almost like the signature, the cosmic signature goes out. So we're going to do a very short visual. I'm going to do a very short light activation for this. And of course, I really advise you that when you're sitting outside, just put the sacred intention, and the rest will come to you naturally. Just trust the visuals, the light quotes that you're receiving. Just trust, and then anchor that deep into the earth. What's also important, Spirit shares with me before we do any kind of work, that is work with the grid, with the new earth, it's important that we shield ourselves, because as much as we would like to think that sometimes, not everything is all love and light here on this planet, and there's a lot of weird activities sometimes with the portal openings and these shifts, and I've shared this before in my ultimate protection video, and you can educate yourself better there, what's really taking place when the portals are opening. And this is definitely happening, because today I received many visuals in myself and online with the pyramids, and pyramid always represents activation. It's opening, it's the activation of portals. So that which was dormant before is now ready to reopen, reactivate, and whenever this happens, sacred light bearers will be always guided to do some sort of ritual work. This is the work of sacred reverence, is the intention that we say we're ready, you know, and then you become more of a conscious conduit of purity to transmit these frequencies and these codes as you're going about your daily life. But also what you're doing is you're placing this intention in nature. So this is what Spirit showed me, and it's important that we do any sorts of shielding work. You can do 12-dimensional shielding technique by Lisa Renee. You can do a pyramid, a violet pyramid activation, or you can do the white column of light. It's very similar to the 12-dimensional shield technique, because white is all colors. You just put the intent that it's multidimensional protection, that you and all parts of you come together as one, and wherever in time and space you perceive it, they're actually really merged in your unity column of white light, or anything else. Also asking your protective guides and anything like that. So before you do any kind of work, so that other entities cannot jump in these it's like activities that you're opening. It's like these, that there's not strange phenomena, because what we want to do here is that it's pure, that this dedication work is pure. And we may just say, wherever we begin, is that this serves through the law of one. There's beings, there's those of us who never have abandoned the law of one. We always serve the law of one within the Great White Brotherhood, and whatever was happening on different planes of existence and different planets of creation experience, we always carry that flame within us, that flame, the spark of awareness, what it is, what does it really mean, the law of oneness, the law of one. So when we sit in the circle, what we do is we do the protection work at first. We imagine it going from our upper spheres, moving deep into the earth, through the earth's core. It's very important to do the shielding, the protection work. Also when you engage in groups and any sorts of activities like that, because you never know what comes externally. You might be in your sacred space, but you don't know. There's a lot of shifting still on this planet, and a lot of the people can't even handle these shifts and these energies, so many things might come out, and if you're not shielding yourself, then who knows? So you better do that work as well. It's your own right, and it's so natural and so easy once you start doing that on a increased daily basis, so that just becomes as natural as, I don't know, brushing your teeth in the morning. So the next thing that's really important when you do that grounding, shielding work, so shielding, grounding, really moving deep into the earth, just sitting also helps you imagine the base of your spine, whereas the center of your Kundalini life force moves and makes the connection with the earth core. That's why in my light grid visual, you can use that visual, it's so beautiful. And in that visual, there's a hematite stone in the middle, so that presents that condensed energy and that core that kind of like magnetizes us, that really grounds us, that's the essence of the middle of the sphere. So then you move that energy back up, you know, and that you create it outside as well. And when it comes out, you can imagine being overflown with the rainbow sparkles of light that emanate outside and move through and through you. So as we do this, this is the basis, then we just sit in the circle. What I did is I placed a very huge pillar stone. I found this one in the sacred mountain region where I went in Italy and in the Alps. So I put this one in the middle so that I have it here next to my base chakra in the middle of the circle where I sit, because it's the symbol of the stones are in the circle movement, and then there's a pillar in the middle, and I am that pillar as well, and you are. So then when we begin, you're just sitting with a presence, and we imagine how all the elements are coming in as one. and that you are ready to become almost like this pyramid, because I've shared with you that the important visual right now is the pyramid, because the pyramid, it's like a generator of energy. So that whatever these stones are holding there, the pyramid then that comes out of it comes out of you, and there's one below the earth as well. So you have a tetrahedron in both directions, as above, so below. And what you now imagine is that this vortex, this stone, this pillar that it represents, it starts to spin. And it starts to spin, which means that it elevates your frequency. And as it spins, and as you're in the dome center of the pyramid, then what happens is you become that conscious conduit of that purity, of the white flame, because white flame connects all flames as one. So it's the space of unity consciousness, and we're all is ready and open to almost like tap into all the different spectrums, so that we're tuning into anything. You're always tuning to that rainbow grid. You're not tuning in, you're not mining those lower levels. There's a lot of beings who are still, when they're receiving guidance, they're just mining the lower levels, and they never really make that connection through that column of light and actually connect into that crystalline core of unity consciousness. It's almost like the liquid, I call it liquid golden white light. It's crystalline, so it's actually a diamond light frequency is what Spirit shares with me. So our intent is now, with the spinning of frequency that increases so much and moves through a column of light upwards, and then as it moves out, like I said, it creates the shower of rainbow light. You're almost like showering nature and all life around you with this rainbow sparkles, because you unified yourself with this template of the new earth when you made a conscious grounding connection. And now what you do is, when you see this and these sparkles, you imagine then that there is a spiral. It's almost like a weaving spiral. It's like a spiral, but it also does wavy formations, because the spiral and the wave are actually one. And you see that energy, it's like it's moving upwards, but it doesn't stop. It doesn't have a center yet. So what you envision now is, because we want our new earth and ourself as the template of a direct mirror representation of what the earth new embodiment is all about. So we are that same embodiment of purity and unity consciousness. And the new template, the design for the Homo perfectus, which is what I like to call it, the perfected human being in its natural original state, without any interferences, and complete freedom of being, and in its source state, where you're always connected to source like we were in the beginning. And we never really cease to exist on that level. It's just when we are entangled in these lower levels and only mine through these lower levels, then we can't really, in our embodiment remember and embody that. So you imagine that this anchoring is taking place through the portal of Andromeda. Andromeda is the heart center of our universe. So all this knowing, all this it's almost like unified field that was available before in the ancient cultures, and it was lost during the times of Atlantis. Now we can be restored. So that was taken to Andromeda in a way. It always exists, you know, but that was done for the advancement of the cycle that we're experiencing now, so that those who are ready can start to bring that back forth. So when you make that connection, you allow that spiraling liquid light to find, it's just with your conscious intent, to find that center and to kind of like root itself. It's almost like you plug into that Andromedan frequency, and you see that crystalline, beautiful light that is almost like the light that it's there from the beginning of all beginnings. And it's that prime light that this guiding light through us finds and connects to, and once again has the ability to plug into that. And whenever you're receiving guidance, it's not just when you sit in the circle, but wherever you are, you always go to the diamond light frequency. So you don't go mining through the lower levels first. That's no longer necessary. You don't have to move through all these astral levels before you think you can reach a certain state. It's like a direct connection that we always had, but then humanity forgot. So this is what's taking place now with these placements that we're creating in nature, and they're physical, because you know before they did a lot of crystal work and they understood the proper meanings of crystals. And this as well activates this, because each mountain is almost like a pillar of that frequency. So carrying these special crystallized stones, whatever you might find in nature, it brings that and brings it into alignment so that you have a better way of physically moving with that frequency, but that source connection is always there and it's always pure. If you know what I mean, I hope I present it as well as I can, because some things that I know are very hard to put into words. They're just a clear knowing. And when you reach that space, and I know everybody can do it, when they just put devotion there, it's of course it's devotion, because whenever we serve the law of one, all of our actions and everything that we do need to be aligned, and they need to come through the law of one. So Spirit shared with me recently that it's very important that relationships we engage in, they really support our ascension. Because sometimes, people will say different things to us, and they will say things and we will think, wow, they have awareness, they have knowledge here, or maybe these are people that I can mingle with in a way, how I can really say it, I don't know. But what Spirit shared with me through the recent unfolding when I was in my conscious awareness self, which was just a part of the state of devotion that I tapped into. And Spirit shared with me that the main factor of how we can see when somebody really is on this ascension path is not how much knowledge they hold or what they say about themselves, because they can present anything to you, but it's whether they're serving the law of one, whether they're serving the greater whole, they're of service to all life in creation, and they're still serving the self and merely for their own pleasuring and their own it's almost like still entrenched in these physical matters more than putting the prior focus on Spirit first. So what Spirit, showed me is that it's not something that you can just play around since you enter into your ascension. It's everything you're engaging in. It's either empowering you, or it's in a way pulling you back to the old, which is still not a place of full empowerment. And it can still be confusing and not always really align with your true self. So a lot of times we engage in relationships just because we would rather not be alone. So we create this full space and we don't open that space for the new. Even though we might feel that we just have community, not maybe personal relationships that would really mirror us. And those who walk the path of the mystic, they know that this is sometimes a path that's rather alone in true nature, but it's not really alone, because you're setting footsteps for those who will follow. So you're always one, you're always in unity consciousness, and we're not to seek others out. We are to allow ourselves to be fully alone in our spirit, so that that which is a part of our co-creation will be through the law of one, not through that attachment. So the first factor is not what people say or how much they know. If they're not really using it for greater service, if they're just keeping it for themselves, and if they're just doing things for their own pleasuring of the senses, of the lower cardinal senses especially, then they're not really on the ascension timeline yet. Maybe they will be, you don't know that. But it's important that you nurture your path right here and right now, because it's not a matter of judgment, it's all about alignment. So what are you aligning yourselves with? What do you choose? And whatever we're choosing, we're still saying, okay, I'm still participating in that. It's almost like you're doing something that you're not doing yourself, but you're just engaging with, and you're kind of becoming a participant in that. And you might say, well, it's not really me doing it, but you're still participating in it. So that's the kind of thing. So the old contracts and relationships are really ending, because we're deciding for a new cycle. So it's really time to culminate in that experience, to welcome in these sacred circles, because when we do that, we also say, okay, I allow a greater circle to physically unfold in my life, so that the real people serving the law of one through ascension are going to come together. So it's not just important for your service to planet Earth. As an ascension pioneer, you do have, everybody has as an ascension pioneer a pact with Gaia, with our planet Earth in her transition, and our transition and transition of the greater whole in humanity. But it really is also important that it's for us. It's to kind of meet in the space that it's really shared, and it's for unity. So I hope this video assisted you, and I didn't want to make a direct activation like always when I do all the guidance, because I want you to create your own. It's really my desire, because it's all within you. I just pointed out a few things that are really important, but work with your own I am. So thank you for watching. I really ask you to participate in this and watch your own guidance, which I'm sure for many of you it's sharing the same similar things with you. As always, so much love, wisdom, and power. Take care. Bye-bye. So okay, here's my beautiful sacred circle with the pillar of light in the middle and the 4 mandala stones and different stones gathered from the mountains and seashells and everything. And I want to show you the beautiful surrounding landscape with our pyramidal portal mountain. Zooming in right now for the last visual. And zooming out again, bringing you back to the circle.